Okay, happy Monday. So, this is the word that I have for you this morning before we get started. It is do not despise the day of small beginnings. So, I've been thinking about that and I saw this really funny clip of TD Jakes doing a sermon. And the stage that he speaks on is probably 6 or 7 feet from the ground. And he's an older man and he's trying to leap up onto the stage from the ground, which clearly is not going to happen, right? And he's like, we want to leap on something that is too big for us to leap on. We despise the little stairs that it takes to get to where you're trying to go to, and we shouldn't. So when you're on this call and you're doing the small steps, sometimes it feels like the mundane, but it is in those steps that we learn, that we grow, and that we move ourselves forward. So say that to yourself today. Whenever you're like, I don't feel like doing whatever, say, do not despise the day of small beginnings. Okay, so I have a dear friend that you guys probably know. And if you don't, you're going to love her so much. You're going to go follow her. She's got the most amazing story about the things that her and her family do with their life and their ministry and the way that they serve their audience. So you're going to get to hear from Diamond Laine Loftis today. We just went to Arizona together and we had such a great time. So I am going to mute myself and let her take over.
Okay, well, thank you, friends. I love that. Wrote that down. Do not despise the day of small beginnings. How good is that? Because oftentimes we do get so caught up in the big picture that what's right before us seems overwhelming, right? I want to start out with telling you guys a starfish story. I don't know if you've heard it before, but I love starting out all of our calls with a little motivational story, and this is my favorite one. So it's the story of the starfish. It says, once upon a time, there was a wise man who used to go to the ocean to do his journal writing. He had a habit of walking on the beach before he began his work. One day he was walking along the shore. As he looked down, he saw a human figure moving like a dancer. He smiled to himself, to think of someone who would dance to the day. So he began to walk faster to catch up. As he got closer, he saw that it was a young man, and the young man wasn't dancing, but instead he was reaching down to the shore, picking up something and very gently throwing it into the ocean. As he got closer, he called out, "Good morning, what are you doing?" The young man paused, looked up, and replied, "Throwing starfish in the ocean." "I guess I should have asked, why are you throwing starfish in the ocean?" "The sun is up and the tide is going out," he said. "And if I don't throw them in, they'll die." "But young man, don't you realize that there are miles and miles of beach and starfish all along it? You can't possibly make a difference." That makes me emotional because how many of us have felt that? Like this really isn't making a difference in the big picture. The young man listened politely, then bent down, picked up another starfish and threw it into the sea, past the breaking waves, and he said, "Well, it made a difference for that one." So good. There is something very special in each and every one of us. We have all been gifted with the ability to make a difference. And if we can become aware of that gift, we gain through the strength of our visions the power to shape the future. We must each find our starfish. And if we throw our stars wisely and well, the world will be blessed. So as we go into these power hours, just knowing that it matters. What you're doing absolutely matters. If it matters for one person, it matters. But it's making a way bigger impact than you realize. So I love the heart stuff. I love that, but I also like to get to the point. And I have a list, and I've got 3 things. And so now let's get to it. Okay. Today we're talking about not the big D, but the 3 D's. Not the big D like the song, the country song, the divorce song. Okay. All of a sudden, I felt a little awkward when I said that. I just came out of a marriage retreat. Forgive me. I just came out of a marriage retreat where all words were used in the wrong way. And I just needed to clarify. We're talking about 3 D words: discipline, determined, and dealership today. Okay, you know that song. Thank you, Jen. Now they all don't think I'm crazy. Number 1, these 3 Ds are absolutely, if we keep them at the forefront of our mind, it will grow your business and it will change the way we go into the power hours or the power. I mean, if you're like me, I've got a power 10 minutes here, a power 15 minutes there. Okay, there's the pot. I got some time right now. Like, we get it done. But if we go into each one of those with these 3 words at the forefront of our mind, I promise you it'll change the way you feel when you come out of the power hour. Not just the way you go into it, but the way you feel when you come out of it. So, number 1 word is disciplined. Not just are you showing up, not did you just jump on the Zoom and even turn your camera on, but how are you showing up? So, being disciplined means that we go into our work knowing exactly what we're going to get done. Being disciplined means that you're going to have that power hour no matter what. But if it's not scheduled, if you are not prepared, then you're going to go into that power hour thinking, I'm doing this no matter what, but you're not going to get the work done that you should get done because you weren't disciplined and you weren't prepared, right? Sometimes it takes getting up early. That's the hardest thing for me personally because I'm not a morning girl. I want to wake up slow. So if I want to be able to wake up slow, then I have to schedule my power hour between 11 and 12 or whatever, and communicate that with the family, right? So being disciplined, if we're not disciplined, you can only go so far with anything in your life. If you want your kids to have a healthy routine, you have to be disciplined, right? If you want your business to be healthy and thriving and balanced, you have to have the discipline as the leader. If you're brand new and maybe you're just jumping on this call to see what this is all about, to share this business, you're going to have to find discipline in your time. Because it's all about balance. We don't want to overwork. We want to go into it with a plan and a purpose to each time we sit down and pick up our phone. So being disciplined in that, I just wrote preparation is key and routine is so important. Number 2, the second word is determined. And the definition of a determined is having made a firm decision and being resolved not to change it. So are we determined today? Are we determined every day? To tell you a little tidbit of my story, I joined Plexus because I was drowning in postpartum depression. I had 3 years prior to Plexus where my parents' marriage fell apart. My marriage almost fell apart and I lost a baby. And I do not know why I'm so emotional today, but that's okay. But it was a hard 3 years, and I'm a tough girl because that's how I was raised. And so I hadn't processed any of the things happening. I was just floating through life and making sure everybody was fine. And then I couldn't do that anymore suddenly. Literally, like within a day, everything changed in my body. My hormones, everything went crazy and I couldn't control it. That's why I started the products because I felt like I was dying, my heart. And so I started them for that. And I wasn't determined at that point. I was desperate. There was no determination in me. I was trying to survive. And I started the products. As we know, the products work, which we work for a company that has products that work. That right there is huge. We don't have to sell something false. They worked for me. And so I had 3 babies at home, a newborn, doing all the things. And I had made a post. I was not an ambassador, but I had made a post because the Lord convicted my heart to tell the truth that actually when you guys thought I was doing really good in the last few months, I was dying. And I bit the bullet and I tried these products that I've made fun of publicly on Facebook. And guys, they work. Just letting y'all know, they work. Okay, bye. I'm out. I did not want to be the person. I didn't want to be the girl. I'm glad I'm the girl because I'm like raking in the money right now and loving my life and I'm healthy. I'm glad I'm the girl. Being the girl is a good thing. Okay. But that's 5 years later. That's been a process. But my husband, after I had made that post and I just wanted to get our products covered because we were broke as a joke. And he was blowing up my phone one day. I was in the kitchen. He was blowing up my phone. I was ignoring him because I had all these kids. And he called me on the house phone. He said, babe, check your messages. I said, I'm stirring the mac and cheese and I'm nursing Chase and all at the same time. Like, I can't do it right now. He said, stop what you're doing. I don't care if there's dinner. I need you to watch these videos. And they were diamond documentaries. And I think, Jen, that yours was one of them. And he said, babe, they're real people. He said, they love Jesus. They're real. He's like, they have like a lot of them have your personality. And then there's some of them that have Brooke, my sister Brooke, her personality, which is totally opposite. He's like, anybody can do this, but babe, you're going to be a diamond, I promise. And I didn't even know what diamond meant. I literally didn't know that. But in that moment, I became determined. Literally before I watched one of those videos, do you know why? Because my husband is the most skeptical man you'll ever meet in your entire life. And every big idea I've ever had, he's given me a reason that it will not work. He's like a 6, 5, whatever on the Enneagram that's like that, doubtful, looking at how everything could go wrong. And his belief in me, that's all I needed. And I said, okay, let's do it. And the only thing that hasn't changed in the last 5 years is that determination. And there was nothing else. There was nothing in between. It was just, I'm in this until I'm diamond. I mean, obviously I'm not going to quit now, but like, that's the goal. That's it. I am doing this. I'm not even considering playing with any idea of slowing down or stopping. I'm in it. Determination is absolutely important. And if you don't have it, dig deep and ask why. Because being determined to change your health is worth something to be determined over. To change your family's finances, we must be determined. And so that's where my determination happened, and it has not wavered. And so I encourage you guys to go into these work hours with determination. So what exactly are you determined to do today? Today, maybe you're determined to connect with 3 people that you haven't connected with. Plug those 3 people into some kind of an event. Send out 3 samples. Sign up an ambassador today. You're not going to stop till you've got an ambassador. What are you determined to do? It could be different for all of us. Okay, the third word is dealership. I don't know about you guys, but when I go to a car dealership, my husband can vouch for this. If I don't like the man, I will not buy the car, no matter how much I love the car, because I appreciate good salesmanship. I appreciate it so much, and I just have a bad attitude towards a bad salesman or like a bad waitress. Like, customer service is everything. Being a good dealer is everything. You go to the car lot, you drive in, immediately I'm like, oh, who's going to come out here like a vulture? Who's it going to be? Who's the one that's just really going to get on my nerves today? And it matters. It matters. If you come at somebody and your happiness of the day or your success of the day depends on if they buy from you or not, they feel that immediately. You don't want that. You want to be like the eagle that's beautiful and set up in a tree with good posture, and they want what you have because they're the top of the food chain. You know, they've got it going on. They don't need you, but their beauty can bless you. The beauty of what they have, the beauty of what this has done for them. So don't be the annoying car salesman. But does that mean that you can stand on the porch with your hands in your pockets while those guys are going to make the money? Absolutely not. You go out there, you talk to the people, connect with the people, but make sure to not make them feel like your success depends on them, because it does not. Your success depends on you. So we are hope dealers, right? So whenever you come off that car lot, the porch, and you're going down to talk to the people, it's exciting, guys, because it is a deal of a lifetime. It is going to change their lives. So as we go into this power hour, we must go into it knowing this truly changed my life. I think that my marriage would be over. I think that the way that I parent would be way worse than it is if I wouldn't have started Plexus. I know that. That's where I was at. Where were you at before? Did it bless you? How many people can you bless today? So go into it excited, determined, disciplined, and knowing that you're a hope dealer. I'll shut up now. I might have went too long, Jen.
No, I mean, first of all, I was sitting here thinking about your team listening to you, and I hope they never but I hope that they never get tired of that because you are one of the most powerful inspirers. I'm sitting here, I wrote so much down, and one of the things that I wrote down that really got me, if you don't have the determination, dig deep and ask why. And that's like, how many of you guys have ever had a moment where you're just like, I don't feel like it? And it means that you've lost your determination. And the way that you phrase that, I'm so glad I recorded this because that was so good, Laine. And I feel like even more compelled to want to go do the hard and scary things. So you nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. That was amazing. Seriously. Thank you, by the way. Okay. So we're going to show up for ourselves in this power hour. And what we're going to do, we're just going to start off simple. I want you guys, today's International Women's Day. And so there's probably someone in your life. It could be even your mom or your grandmother. It could be your upline. It could be someone in history. It could be someone that's living today. Go and make a post about that. And what you're trying to do with this is you're trying to show that you celebrate people. Because if you celebrate people, someone will read that and say, she loves to be excited for people. And and it makes them think, could she be excited about me? Have you ever been around someone that every time you're with them, you leave and you just feel amazing? You're like, they just love me. Like you feel that way. And it makes you feel so good. So think about who that is. Put in the chat who you're going to write about. This is the post you're going to make. And I want you guys to share who it is so that people get some ideas. Like if you're like, it was my great aunt because she did X, Y, and Z, or it's, I don't know, someone in history. Think about who it is and share with us before you make your post because I'd love to hear. Oh, your daughters. See, I didn't even think about that. That's huge. So International Women's Day post. Let's do it. Getting started now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and plan your content for the rest of the week. If you're someone that already has it planned, then this won't be relevant to you. So just keep working on messaging. I hope that you guys have a list. It kind of goes back to what Laine was saying about, I wrote this down. I thought it was super good. It was about being disciplined. She said, how are you showing up for your power hours? Are you showing up prepared? Because if you come up to your power hour and you're like, all right, I'm here to work. That's what I'm going to do. But you don't really have a plan. You don't have your list. You don't really know what you're doing. You're just hoping that like by magical, like a switch will go off. You got to have a plan. It's in that small beginnings we were talking about. Okay, so we're going to plan your content for the week. I would encourage you to post every single day. What you're trying to do is create a story. You want people to want to come onto the social media page, whatever it is, Instagram or Facebook, and go, I wonder what so-and-so's up to. You literally want them to be that interested. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some things. You need a piece of paper, or you can put this in the notes of your phone. These are the ideas for your post, and you need to kind of plan it out. Then you need to figure out if you have the right photography to go with it. If you already have it planned, save this for another time. But go ahead and look at the rest of March and think about, do you have any special family days? Is it someone's birthday? Is it an anniversary? Does one of your kids have a school dance? Think of anything that could be important to document for your family in the month of March. All of that is part of your branding. If it's someone's birthday, make sure you have something ready with a cute picture with you and that little, whoever it is, your daughter or your husband. Go ahead and write that down. So you're going to do family dates. Then we already did the International Women's Day, but look and see if there's any other national days this month. I haven't looked yet, but it might be like National Donut Day, and we're like, there could be so many things. If it's National Donut Day, then literally have a picture ready of you with your Slim and say, well, y'all are eating donuts. I'm over here drinking my pink drink or whatever. That's probably rude, but you know what I'm saying. Just find the national days. And then make sure you're aware of anything that could be happening in Plexus so that you're prepared to make posts about that. So one of them could be personal, for your personal business. It could be that you want to celebrate a success, like you, for the first time ever, have added 10 people to your team overall, or you might want to share about your paycheck that's coming up and what that's going to do for your family. If that gives you cold sweats, then lean into that, because the truth is there are people struggling financially, and they will never know the blessing of Plexus because you're afraid to look like a braggart. Are you a braggart? No, you're not. You're a blesser. And so if people see Alita Allen, the only reason she decided to say yes to Plexus after 18 months of me nagging her is because I got brave enough to post about what my paycheck was, and my phone rang. I literally clicked submit and I got a phone call. She's like, okay, hold up. How much did you say you were making a month? She goes, what do I need to do? And that was it. She needed to see the income possibility, and I had been shying away from it because I didn't want to be judged. So let that go. You also know that the starfruit guava is coming up at some point. So do some really fun posts with that. If you have your content planned, it takes away the anxiety and it creates the story. So go ahead and do that for the next week, and then we'll come back together. Okay, so the last 10, 15 minutes, however long we have, this is something we've done in the past, but I just always encourage you to go back. People get so overwhelmed at the prospect of introducing the business to someone that says they don't want the business. So everyone's like, well, they said they don't want the business. I don't care. I do not care. And here's why I don't care, because I don't want them to work a business either. I just want them to get their products covered and move on with their life. Okay. So that means they're going to be added to the team page. If I hadn't been added, I would have never caught the vision, ever, ever, ever. It would have just, she would have blocked me from what I ended up experiencing. Number two, don't ask them, are you interested in using this as a business? No, I'm not. That just sounds sterile and it doesn't sound like something I'd be excited to do. I've been telling people this. Hey, did you want to hear about the payback program? Plexus will pay you back for what you just ordered. And they're like, well, yeah. What are they going to, how does that work? I'm like, well, you basically just need 3 friends to try it with you. Do you know anyone that has the same kind of struggles you do? And they almost always start putting people in chats with me. And it doesn't happen overnight, but it's in the back of their mind. And especially if they've gone a month and they're like, it's about my next order is about to come out. I don't really want to have to pay for it. And so they get to do this payback program, which through the 15th of this month, if they're new, that's $350 for 3 friends. And so, what if the person doesn't want to work a business, but they sign up someone that does? Wouldn't that be worth it? So, I'm telling you all that. I want you to go back and make sure you have said that to all of your level ones. Make sure all of your level ones are on a team page and tagged in like detox testimonies so they know it's product focused. And then once you've done that, make sure they're on a testimony page so they can begin building belief. So I'll write all that in the chat. I got so wrapped up in finishing up my post, I couldn't even remember that you guys were on. Okay, let me make sure that we're all on the same page with what's going on this upcoming week. So let me grab my planner, my schedule. I'm almost there. Hey, Jillian. Jillian. That's my 11-year-old daughter who's in there sassing her dad. Gotta love it. Okay, so tonight we have an 8 p.m. training that's called Creating Product Lifers, and that's with us Sapphire Jessica Cessna and Diamond Jessica Hugendorn. We do have our 7 p.m. power hour for anybody who wants to hop on. That's the first time we've done that. Wednesday's power hour this week is Jessica Heffley, so that'll be awesome. And if you're in the top 1%, we have all of our training going on this week. So I will see you guys either tonight or tomorrow, and that's all Central Time. Actually, I'll put those graphics into the Power Hour chat. If you're not in it, just ask someone to add you to it. Your daughter just asked for your link, Debbie? What is she going to order?
My daughter-in-law's mother, and my daughter's mother-in-law.
Your daughter's mother-in-law. That's huge.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love hearing
I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when this one lady who I care so much what she thinks about me finally said yes. And I was just like, it was like the best day ever. Literally like the best day ever. Okay, someone add Tina to the chat that's not in there. And I think Marari too. I'll add you, Marari. Somebody else add Tina. I can't keep up with everybody. Oh, me too. Me too. Me too. How do I don't know how to remember all the people that are writing that. So, well, let's just make that happen. I'll try to remember. Okay. I'm leaving. Goodbye.